Welcome to the deep dive. Tonight, we're delving into a story that starts with a father's fierce desire to protect his son, but it twists into something truly dark.
It really does. We're talking patricide, betrayal, and a staggering $100 million fortune at the center of it all. A chilling case from India.
Absolutely. It revolves around a man named Bhaskara. He was a self-made tycoon in real estate construction. Built an empire, really.
Yeah, the classic story, almost.
Yeah.
Moved his family from Kerala in India to the U.S. Chasing that better life made his fortune.
But then decided to return home, right, back to his hometown, Cherion, planning to retire there, maybe expand the business too.
But there's this crucial element, this shadow hanging over everything. Bhaskara's world revolved around his younger son, Binu.
Binu needed significant care.
Yes, he was born with developmental delays.
Yeah.
Bhaskara's biggest fear, his driving motivation, was making sure Binu would be taken care of always, even after he and his wife Anna were gone.
And that fear, that need to protect Binu, is what set everything in motion. It led to this almost unbelievable arrangement.
You had Bhaskara, his wife Anna, their successful daughter Radha, and Binu. Bhaskara figured the best way, maybe the only way, to guarantee Binu's lifelong care was to tie it directly to the money.
So he starts looking for a daughter-in-law, but not just anyone.
No, it was a very specific proposition. Marry Binu, commit to caring for him for his entire life.
And the incentives were huge, all wedding costs covered, a massive annual stipend, hundreds of thousands of rupees, like tens of thousands of US dollars a year.
Which, for someone without that kind of background, that's life-changing money.
Plus inclusion in the inheritance itself, but there were conditions.
Two big ones. Lifetime care for Binu, absolutely non-negotiable, and she had to bear an heir, continue the family line.
It sounds less like a marriage proposal and more like a business contract.
It pretty much was. A high-stakes contract rooted in Bhaskara's desperation.
Yeah.
And they found someone, Shirin. She was only 19, just out of high school.
And she agreed.
She did. She accepted the terms, married Binu, and suddenly became part of this incredibly wealthy, very complex family dynamic.
You can almost see the problems brewing already, can't you?
Absolutely. Tying care for a vulnerable person to that kind of money for a young stranger, it's a recipe for resentment.
And it didn't take long for that resentment to surface. After the wedding, Shirin moved with the family back to the U.S. for a time.
Right. And initially, part of the plan worked. Shirin did give birth to a daughter, Aishwarya, so the heir was secured.
But the day-to-day reality of caring for Binu, that started to wear on her.
It seems so. Sources say she felt bored, restless, trapped maybe, in this routine, in this mansion.
So she asked for ways out?
Yeah, she wanted to study computers, even got a part-time cashier job. Not for the money, obviously, but just to socialize, to have a life outside that house. Bhaskara allowed it.
Then came the big move back to India around 2009. Back to Kerala, Bhaskara's hometown.
He was building this huge, luxurious villa there, a mansion, really, that was meant to be the retirement home, the new base of operations.
But just before they moved, tragedy struck.
Yes, Bhaskara's wife, Anna, passed away from an illness.
Which must have just amplified Bhaskara's worries about Binu. Anna was his primary caregiver.
Exactly. It put even more pressure on the situation, heightened Bhaskara's anxiety tenfold. But the move went ahead. Bhaskara, Binu, Shirin, little Aishwarya, plus staff. They all moved into this new villa.
And Radha, the daughter.
She moved into a house nearby. Her father built it for her. The idea was she'd help with the business and, importantly, oversee the inheritance planning.
But returning to India, despite the luxury, didn't improve Shirin's behavior. It got worse.
Much worse, according to the reports. Open neglect of Binu, hitting bars and clubs frequently. And then the affair started. Multiple affairs.
Which obviously created massive tension with Bhaskara.
Immense tension. He was becoming more protective, more controlling, and her actions were just flying in the face of everything he'd set up.
Yeah.
The whole situation was a powder keg.
And it exploded on November 8th, 2009. Let's walk through that morning. It starts with the maid.
Right. She's the first one up, and she notices something immediately wrong.
The door.
The exterior doors, and some windows were unlocked. She was absolutely certain she'd locked everything the night before. Big red flag right there.
But she doesn't immediately raise the alarm.
No, she waits. Maybe assumes someone else unlocked them. But then time passes. Bhaskara, always an early riser, doesn't come down for breakfast.
That's when she gets worried.
Yes. She goes to find Shirin, whose room was near Bhaskara's, to tell her something's not right.
And Shirin's reaction is interesting.
Very.
Yeah.
Initially, she just brushes the maid off, tells her not to worry, just get on with her work. It seems suspiciously dismissive.
But eventually, Sharon goes upstairs.
She does. She enters Bhaskara's room and finds him. Stiff, pale, dark lips, clearly deceased.
She starts screaming then, claims it was a robbery.
Immediately. Points out that his laptop is gone, his watch, wedding ring, wallet, all missing. Paints a picture of a break-in and theft.
But the police weren't buying it from the start.
Not really. Things just didn't add up, especially in a place like this fortress of a mansion.
What were the main issues for them?
Well, first, the security. We're talking double doors, iron bars fixed to the windows, state-of-the-art stuff, yet zero signs of forced entry. None.
So whoever got in either had a key, knew how to get in, or was let in.
Exactly. And then there's the theft. If you're a burglar risking breaking into this place, why leave behind 9,000 rupees in cash?
They found cash. Where?
Right in the bedside drawer, untouched. A real thief would have grabbed that. It suggested robbery wasn't the real motive here.
And the dogs. Weren't there guard dogs?
2 of them. But nobody heard a thing. Not the staff inside, not the neighbors close by. No barking all night.
Which implies the intruder was familiar to the dogs, someone they knew.
That's what it points to. Very suspicious silence.
But the police did get one potential lead from outside.
Yes, a neighbor, Raju. He told them he saw a guy lurking near the villa around 1 a.m., claimed his motorcycle broke down.
And then what?
When Raju offered to call a mechanic, the guy just vanished, disappeared. This man was later identified as Nithin.
Okay, so a suspicious person outside, but inside, things point elsewhere. Then came the forensics.
The post-mortem. That confirmed it. Homicide. Bhaskara had bruises, small wounds on his neck, consistent with strangulation, probably with a towel or some kind of cloth.
But that wasn't the most chilling part.
No. The truly shocking discovery was traces of chloroform found in the lining of his mouth.
Chloroform. That changes everything.
Completely. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment thing. Using chloroform, a dangerous anesthetic, it points to a planned, cold-blooded assassination. They needed to subdue him.
So the police are now looking at a planned murder inside the house, likely by someone known to the family, who had the motive, the access.
All eyes turned to Sharon. And Bhaskara's daughter, Radha, she filled in the blanks. She confirmed how distressed her father was.
About Sharon's behavior.
Yes, the neglect of Binu, the constant partying, and the affairs. Bhaskara knew about the affairs. He'd hired a private investigator.
He knew, and he confronted her.
He did. He threatened to cut off her allowance, that huge sum she was getting.
And how did Sharon react?
This is telling. She didn't back down. She retaliated, demanded he rewrite the will to give everything to Binu immediately.
Which would effectively put her in control as Binu's wife and caregiver.
Exactly. It was a power play. Bhaskara, still desperate to protect Binu, actually considered it. He agreed to keep her in the inheritance if she changed her ways. A temporary truce.
But she didn't change. In fact, she started another affair.
The final one. After moving back to India, she got involved with Besith Ali.
Who is Besith Ali?
Bhaskara's young, trusted right-hand man. His business partner. Someone who had constant, easy access to the villa.
Oh, wow. So the ultimate betrayal.
And Bhaskara found out. He caught them together. That was it. The final straw.
So he decided to cut her off completely.
Immediately. He started working with his lawyer that very day, drafting a new will, splitting the fortune between Binu, Radha, and his granddaughter Aishwarya, and starting divorce proceedings.
Sharon must have known her time was up.
She knew that divorce meant the end. The money, the lifestyle, everything gone.
Which brings us to the night of November 7th, 2009, the night before the murder.
Things reached a head. Bhaskara apparently caught Sharon and Besith together again, in the house. A massive argument erupted.
He threatened to throw her out right then.
Yes, divorce her, cast her out that night. He then left the villa furious to go talk to Radha about the new will and the divorce plans.
Sharon realized she had only hours.
Mere hours before the legal change happened, before she lost everything. She had to act fast. She convinced Besith Bhaskara had to die tonight. So the old will, the one that still benefited her, would be the one that counted.
And they brought in help.
Besith recruited 2 associates, Rashid and the guy the neighbor saw, Nithin. He was the lookout.
How did they plan to get past the staff, Binu, the dogs?
Sharon handled that. She cooked the big family meal that evening, and she drugged it. Put sleeping pills in everything.
Except her own portion.
Except her own. That's why the driver, the maid, Binu, they all slept right through it.
Yeah.
And the dogs. She drugged them too. Explains the silence. Meticulous planning.
But there was a problem. Bhaskara didn't eat the meal.
Huge problem for their plan. He came home late, bypassed dinner, went straight upstairs to bed. He was still awake.
So Sharon had to alert the others.
Yes. She let Basith and Rashid know their target wasn't unconscious. That's likely why the chloroform became necessary.
She let them in?
Unlocked the doors, the windows. Basith and Rashid went inside. Ithan stayed outside on watch. They went up to Bhaskara's room.
And used the chloroform to subdue him.
He must have struggled. They used the chloroform, then strangled him with a cloth. Killed him in his bed.
And the chili powder. That weird detail the maid found.
Right. Sharon scattered dried chili powder around the room afterwards. It sounds bizarre, almost superstitious.
What was the thinking there?
The belief was it would confuse police dogs, mask the scent of the killers. A desperate, almost amateurish attempt to cover their tracks, mixed in with the cold calculation of the murder itself.
Then they took the items, watch, ring, wallet, to make it look like the robbery she claimed.
Exactly. Staged the scene.
But the police saw through it quickly.
Very quickly. The timeline didn't make sense. Sharon's delayed reaction, her contradictory statements, it all pointed to her. And then the phone record sealed it.
Calls between her and Basith.
Dozens of them. That night, in the crucial hours, it tied them together directly.
So arrests followed soon after.
Sharon was arrested just 4 days later, on November 12th. Basith, Rashid, and Nithin were picked up within about a month.
Did they confess?
The three men did. They confessed to the plot, and crucially, they confirmed Sharon was the mastermind, that she planned and directed the whole thing for the inheritance.
And the outcome in court.
Swift. All four were convicted of murder in 2010, sentenced to life imprisonment.
Did Sharon ever admit guilt?
She appealed multiple times. In those appeals, she admitted to the affair with Basith, but continued to deny orchestrating the murder itself. All her appeals were rejected.
So what happened to Binu and Aishwarya and the fortune?
That's perhaps the only positive note to end on. Radha, Bhaskara's daughter, stepped up. She took over the family business, fulfilling her father's legacy, and she continues to care for both her brother Binu and her niece Aishwarya. The estate is secure, managed as Bhaskara likely would have wished in the end.
It's just a terrifying story, isn't it? How greed, this insatiable desire for wealth, could completely obliterate family duty, basic human decency, leading to such a calculated, cold-blooded murder.
It really makes you think about the corrupting influence of immense wealth, especially when it's tied so directly to something like caregiving. The incentive became so powerful it destroyed the very trust and protection it was supposed to ensure. A truly chilling outcome.
Absolutely. If this deep dive into a case where money and motive led to murder captivated you, make sure you're following our channel. Please like, share, and subscribe to Horror Doc. We explore the darkest cases, and you won't want to miss our next investigation. Until then, take care.